Hey guys, welcome to Dark Draft Security. My name is Joe Margie, and today I'm going to be doing some preparation for the Red Hat Certified Systems Administrator exam number 200, EX200. So I've been working with Linux for about 5 years now, and I've recently had to get this certification for my work. So I've decided I'm going to make a series of videos of me preparing for the exam, and yeah, I hope it helps. And today I'm just going to give a little rundown of the prerequisites, get a virtual machine going, running Fedora, which is an upstream distribution of Red Hat. So it'll be a good environment to practice on for the exam. And I'll show you guys how to get that all set up. And yeah, let's get into it. Thanks. And we're back. What is up, everybody? So as you can see, we are on an Ubuntu Desktop. As you can see from this NeoFetch output, OS Ubuntu 20.4 lifetime support. So if you don't have a Linux desktop, or you don't have Linux running on your laptop or whatever machine that you have, you can go ahead and do that by just grabbing the ISO online and making a bootable flash drive and just booting in from there. There's a lot of good resources online for this. If you guys want me to make some documentation on how to create a Linux environment for your desktop, I can do that, but for right now I'll just assume that you have a Linux environment ready to roll. Yeah, so if you want to see that, just let me know in the comments. So okay, let's rock and roll. So first thing we're going to want is virt-manager. virt-manager comes built into Ubuntu, or rather it's in the repos that are enabled by default. So we can just do a sudo apt get install virt-manager. Okay. So I already have it installed, so I'll go ahead and run it. It's just going to tell me it's already installed. Okay, 0 upgraded, 0 newly installed, 0 to remove, and 13 not upgraded. So it looks like there might be an upgrade out for it, but we won't worry about that right now. So, okay, I'll show you what it looks like. So we can go ahead and press the Windows, the command button, and then that'll bring up your search on GNOME, and then you can just hit virt and then virtual machine. That program will come up. Just hit enter. Okay, and now you can see the virt-manager is open, and I have a Fedora Virtual Machine ready to go, and now I'm going to show you how to get a Fedora machine up and running. So first thing you're going to want to do is go to a web browser. I'm using Brave, but you can really use anything. And then just either type in Google or any search engine Fedora, or you can just take this URL, getfedora.org/en/workstation/download. Okay, so now you're at the workstation page, and over here you can see for x86_64. and just hit download. You can do a neofetch and it'll show you your CPU architecture, but most likely x86_64 will work for you. If you have an Intel or like AMD, then your x86 ARM is going to be for like mobile devices, so most likely you just want to grab this one. So just hit download. I already have it, so I won't download it, but all you would just do is just click download. Just close that. Okay, now I can just go to my downloads folder. So if you guys don't know, like basic bash commands like ls and cd to move around the file system, let me know in the comments if you want to see some documentation on that, and I can do a video on that, but for right now I'll just assume you guys know that. So I'll cd in my downloads. Okay, and here you can see I should have it. Maybe it's in my Red Hat directory. Yep, there it is. So Fedora Workstation Live. This is the ISO that you'll get from hitting that download button. And also this ISO, RHCSA is the test environment. So when you're ready to test, you can schedule an exam with Red Hat and then search for getting ready for RHCSA, and then you'll get a PDF. You'll find a link for the PDF. We can do that right now, quick. Getting ready for RHCSA PDF. Okay, and then it'll probably be this first link. Okay, scrolling down. Yep, so you're going to want to follow these steps here. Create a remote exam, bootable live USB, and then you have some documentation for Windows and Fedora. So, okay, download the remote exam bootable live USB. So this is the link that you'll click to download rhxboot.iso. And then you can just follow the demonstration here to make the bootable USB. And yeah, I can also make some documentation on that if you want. I figured I'd just give you a sneak peek here. So yeah, let's move on. So back to the ISO, we got it. Now let's go ahead and back to virt-manager, and let's hover over this button, create a new virtual machine. Okay, and now we're going to want to stick with this radio button, local install media ISO image or CD-ROM forward. Choose ISO or CD-ROM install media, browse. Here you're going to want to select your ISO. So if you guys remember, it's in my downloads Red Hat. So you can see that here, Red Hat file system directory, and bam, there it is. So I'll select that. Okay, and then I'll hit next. Choose memory CPU settings. This depends on you. 2 CPUs, 2 gigs of RAM should work, which is the default in virt-manager, so I'll just hit next. Enable storage for this virtual machine. Create a disk image for the virtual machine, or you can create custom storage. I would recommend creating custom storage. So this, if you're a beginner, might get a little in depth. If you just want to get up and running, you could probably just click this and you'd be good to go. But if this is a VM that you might want to keep permanently, I'd suggest partitioning your drive and selecting some custom storage. So, I'm sure we'll get to this later in the series, but for right now, I'll just create a disk image for the virtual machine, and I'll set it to 20 gigs. We can just call this Fedora 2 RHCSA. Under this network selection here, we're going to want to hit virtual network default NAT, and that'll allow us to use a virtual NIC, and we'll be able to communicate from our host machine to our VM. Hit finish, and okay, now we booted the ISO, and it says start Fedora Workstation Live 35. We could go into troubleshooting, test media. Let's hit start. Okay, we see our loading wheel there and Fedora. Okay, yeah, now we have our desktop. So if you want to install it, you can run here. If you just want to run from live, you can do that. But any changes you make after you shut the VM down will not persist. So for the sake of the video, we'll just use try Fedora. And it says you can choose to install the hard drive at any time. Okay, yeah, now we have our desktop. We can hit the command button again and type terminal. Okay, and now we have our terminal live user. So if we hit ifconfig, it doesn't show. So let's try IP-A or IPA. Okay, and now we can see our IP addresses here. And okay, yeah, you can see that we have this 192.168.122.10/24. So if you guys don't know about networking or are curious about how networking works, there's a lot of good content online. But for right now, I'll just show you how we can SSH into our VM here. We have to start the SSH daemon. So if we do systemctl status SSHD, we could see that it is inactive. So we'll just start it. So we'll hit up arrow, that'll take us to our last command, and we'll hit start. Okay, now we'll hit status again. Okay, we can see it's running now. So we'll quickly just SSH as the live user. There shouldn't be any password to the live user. So SSH live user at 192, and you're going to want to use that IP address. This one right here. So just copy that and paste right after the @sign. Get rid of the siren notation. You don't need that. And just hit yes. Okay, so it's asking, do we want to continue? Yes. All right, and I did not enter the password. Okay, so there's probably a password for the lab user. It's probably like default, like tour or something, root spelled backwards. But for right now, we'll bring an end to this video. This is just a prerequisite video to show you how to get a virtual machine up and running. If you guys have more questions, I can answer those. Leave a comment. Tell me what I explained well, what I need to work on, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video in the series. Thanks.